You're welcome back to the chat right here on ChannelOne TV, where we have all the conversations when it comes to the entertainment space. And right now, we'll be going into a very interesting one that happened over the last week. I mean, a week as of now, or a week ago. Today, we were actually converging at one spot as an entertainment industry or as a music industry, trying to award great people who have done very well under the year under review. And then we're trying to give them awards to commend them for the good job done. I mean, as events will have it, it had its highs and its lows, and I mean, a few things here and there. But at the end of the day, the ultimate thing happened. We're able to crown our Artist of the Year, and we're able to get home and have a very, very good and interesting conversation. I mean, interesting event as well. But right in the studio, I have the PRO for, I think, Chatterhouse, right? Robert Clark.
Yes.
You're the PRO for Chatterhouse?
Yes, I am.
All right. So I have the PRO for Chatterhouse right here with me, Robert Clark. And then also Adam is still here with me, and then George is also joining me via Zoom all the way in the UK. But before we get into any conversation at all, I just want to know, what were your general overview of the event as the PRO?
I won't finish it.
You, hey!
Yeah.
Try it finish.
Because you see, that's a long. It's a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you started off in a particular year. You had clear intentions and plan, but you didn't have what do you call it? A title sponsor. And then we started moving, and then eventually we were able to conclude details with our title sponsors, Telecel. And then, but we had shifted our nominees announcement dates like 4 times, albeit not communicated to the public in terms of internal planning. We had done that. Then and so for the, probably in a very long time, I'm not too sure in the past, but usually you have your nominees announcement done ahead of Easter. But we did it, and then this one we immediately went into Easter. And then that also impacted our nominees jam. And then from the nominees jam, we had to secure the new date. And then we also had to change our finale date, which was originally meant to be 4th of May. 4th of May. So we had to look for a new date, which is in June. And that meant losing certain people that we wanted and getting, we basically having a whole conversation about the finale again with the necessary people. And the nominees jam finished after the nominees jam, we had like 2 weeks and a few days to be able to organize it. So that meant that we had limited time to be able to pull off the finale. And then when we had scheduled, put plans in place to be able to move on, and we also discovered that it was going to rain. So as per the projection, so if it's going to rain, we wanted to have a red carpet experience elsewhere, like in the foyer, but now the question is how to take care of the people if it should rain and then they are in the foyer, and then the venue is where you're supposed to be doing stuff. So we had to relocate everything we had scheduled for that place down to the front of the Grand Arena. And we had to put up a new tent, a structure that could cover an entire stretch. And that means, removing, you realize that on a regular day we had a red room, usually supposed to be there, but this time around it wasn't there, to be able to create extra room, and all of that. So we like a lot of things that we were supposed to juggle and manage closer to the time, and we sailed through all of these things.
All right.
And then eventually we had a show, the event itself.
Sure. Now, with all of these things that you have mentioned, would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready were we for the event?
We were ready when we were ready.
No. I just want to say on a scale of 1 to 10.
Forget about it. It doesn't really matter. We're ready, and when we're ready.
Okay, I'm asking this because, Adam, I don't know how you got in, but can you just share with us your red carpet experience? How were you able to make your way into the auditorium?
Okay, for me, I went there earlier. I think because I had to do a review with a sister channel who were the main TV sponsor. So I got there early. The security, they said they have not opened because, at that time I went, it wasn't time for them to open for people to enter. So I got in touch with some of the, organizing team members to tell them, and eventually the producer came to pick me. So that was where they moved me straight to where they have set up for their TV conversation. So that was how I got into the red carpet zone.
All right. before we go with the conversation, I actually had a conversation on the red carpet with the Honorable Minister Designate, that's the MP for Second D, and then also the CEO for the Tourism Authority. And this was what they had to share about Ghana music, tourism, and then actually even our space. When we come back, we'll talk about the space where we are having where we have the Ghana Music Awards currently, and then we'll be able to, progress the conversation from there. Let's check out this instead.
The minister and the CEO for everything tourism in Ghana, and I'm so proud and I'm so privileged to have them here. Now, music plays a big role when it comes to our tourism in Ghana. How better can it get in promoting our tourism, Honorable Minister?
Well, I suppose that a lot of support going in there, and events such as this that recognizes the role that they play is really what is going to catalyze the sector. Because obviously, yes, you have tourism, but what is the ingredients that creates the content for tourism? It's obviously the creative sector, of which music plays an important part. And so the requisite support through awards, venues, funding that then enables them to give up their best to promote Ghana really is something that we have to all work towards support.
All right. Now, CEO, you have been pushing the agenda when it comes to the creatives and also putting up events, especially in December. Now, when people think about the Tourism Authority, all they think about is, oh, December in Ghana, December in Ghana. Can you tell us the other things that the Tourism Authority does when it comes to the creative space in Ghana and tourism?
A lot. I mean, in terms of even product development itself, there are several tourist sites and attractions that we've been paying attention to. We all know what has happened at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Yeah. Currently, there is work going on at the Nationalism Park, the Geese Park, and so many other products that are being improved. But importantly, we are also trying to see how we can strengthen the intersection between the tourism sector and the arts. And so this month of June, we are hosting for the first time in Ghana the West African Music and Arts Festival with a group from the US Hip Hop Project. And that's going to bring Warner Music and so many international brands who are looking at ways that they can partner. So yes, we are doing a lot when it comes to December in GH, but it's not just that. Every month, every time, there's something on the sleeves of the Tourism Authority.
All right. Now, Honorable Minister, I mean, you are here. I'm sure a lot of people were not expecting to see you here, but you are here to have a good time and enjoy yourself. I mean, who are you looking forward to see pick up an award, I mean, at the TGMA 25 this year?
Frankly, I think that the best, as per the votes, has to win. but of course, the best always comes from the West, right? and so your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, okay.
But interestingly, this is my first
time coming here.
Absolutely. Every time I stay at home, I watch it on TV, right? But I didn't have a choice than to make an appearance this year.
How do you see the energy here?
It's pretty exciting, and I wish I'd come earlier. On
why you say that?
Because I mean, my family takes a lot of my time when I'm in Accra. Okay, and so I hardly go out for events such as this. I rather stay home and enjoy it. But it's pretty exciting to see the artists in person right here, and I think that is. We ought to have bigger venues so a lot more people can attend.
Yeah, you're welcome back. So that was the Honorable Minister. Initially, I said Minister Designate. He has been confirmed, so he's the Honorable Minister for Tourism and then also the CEO for the Tourism Authority. And on the back of how he ended his interview where he was talking about bigger spaces, George, I want to come to you. Have we, as an industry and also as an awards scheme, have we outgrown the space that we are using currently for our Ghana Music Awards?
Yeah, I think honestly we need more space. We need more venues, to make this exciting. I think the excitement, if this is to happen in Kumasi or Takoradi or anywhere else in Ghana, it will grow. It will grow, double up excitement in our industry. So yes, this capacity I think is about 5,000 or so. We need more people in the auditorium, to create that euphoria. That it's not just about the awards, but celebrating Ghana music. And unfortunately for us, if you want to take a look at Accra, as a capital town, you realize that we have very, very few event spaces, which is restricting a lot of us from doing stuff. Imagine, see how Accra gets choked during Christmas time. So if we can expand to, other regions, I think it's going to do us a lot of. I mean, yeah, we're promised that there are going to be some amphitheaters all over the place. I'm sure we're yet to experience these things, but what we are asking is that we want beautiful auditoriums. We want not too spacious. I'm not saying we should go build a 10,000 capacity in Tamale or somewhere else.
We should. We have to.
No. I mean, yes. Listen, we are being refused 1,500. That much more. I mean, what I'm saying is, if we can have an ultra-modern auditorium in Tamale, in Sunyani, in Kumasi, Takwa, the Cape Coast, and all these places, right? At least each region deserves to have an ultra-modern, auditorium for to boom or to boost the creativity or the creatives in the region. So we are very, very handicapped in terms of venues, especially in Accra. I mean, Accra take away the dome. The new dome, there's another dome there that we don't use. I don't know why we don't use. Take out the dome, take out conference center, take out National Theatre. The rest are all bank hotel halls, which is not really, okay for
That's true.
Building events with this magnitude. So we will need not just a space, we need ultra-modern spaces, because listen, these artists travel all over the world and they have experiences, in other places. So when they come back home, they should be celebrated in a way and in a room where we all deserve to be in there. So yes, I'm urging the minister and his government to do more than just talk. You understand? We need to find a way to help this industry grow. We as creatives will do our bit, but them as decision makers, they should be able to also, help us budget, help us, grow the industry by building more facilities and infrastructures for us.
All right, Robert. Now, the night was a very long night, right? A lot of people, a good number of people actually left the auditorium because they couldn't wait to see the artist of the year. Whoever picked up the artist of the year, they got to see it the next day when the news broke and everything. Now, people are also calling for us to revert to how we used to do it back then. I mean, I think a few years ago, we used to have the industry night and we'll have the main event. Is it possible to do something like that?
Yeah, first of all, having a 2 days is very, very possible. And what would make it possible is extra funds, really. Because you will have to organize another event, which means venue setup, rehearsals, artists performing, awards being presented, and all, like basically everything,
So having like the show before the main show.
Yeah, it's essentially it means having two shows.
Yeah.
That's what it means. So it's the cost times 2. Probably one might be a bit bigger than the other, but it's just cost times 2 because you need MCs, you need basic everything that you have to go through. You have to go through the same. And in that particular case, it makes it easier. And now I'm not going to lie to you. When we do the comparisons with the international awards, they are doing about 3.5 hours.
Yes.
Probably, usually being the standard, maximum you can get is like 4, but 3.5 hours is the standard. And you ask yourself how many awards are they presenting for the night, you understand? And they are doing less than 20. So if they are doing that, then that makes it easier for them to be able to, present X number and then be off. So that format, and everybody can attest to the fact that when we used to do that, it was shorter.
It was shorter.
So to say. So, so that is from that side. But with respect to the program itself keeping long, I think that we have come to accept that red carpets will be red carpets.
Red carpet what?
Will be red carpet.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
The people get there and they want to participate in red carpet. Sometimes we estimate an hour. The people are like, lie. It's gonna. You are waiting for the people to get seated so that you can get ready to do your show. Because obviously, if somebody is meant to present an award, they have to be there.
Yeah.
Somebody is supposed to perform, they have to be there and ready, and all of that. And then you will sit there on the red carpet.
All right. So you see, one thing. Yeah. One thing I noticed. Okay, George. Go ahead.
So for me, the reality is we have to embrace it completely, and there are quite a number of conversations we've had around the table almost immediately, because just before it happened, it was one of the things we're contemplating on. So we immediately want to have the red carpet as an event, more or less separated from it's not going to be like, separate from the main. So there's not like I've come to the event and I'm just holding you off until you get in and go and sit. No,
Sure.
we'll have a red carpet produced as red carpet, starting at a particular time, ending at a particular time, and then after that we can begin the main show itself, and then we'll have the holding where we need to be able to hold. So those are the immediate things. And once the red carpet delays, then it affects
The
the
main
main show in terms of how long it's able to go. So those were the key elements we got, and knowing the importance and relevance of the red carpet and how the fashion industry basically feed off it. You know, we need to be able to give it a life of its own and make sure that it's fully fledged, you know, to be able to attain the height it ought to attain. So that is the impact that the red carpet is able to have on the show itself, and immediately that's one of the first things that we are looking at doing. Yeah.
All right. Now, George wanted to ask something to you. George, if you can go ahead.
Yeah, so it's got to do with the timing that Robert made mention, because I think honestly it's just about time that we're able to curtail that, because listen, I mean, some of us we did watch it online, and we are an hour earlier ahead of Ghana, and you can imagine the time that some of us have to go to sleep. Why? We want to be part of the industry, so we want to witness everything that happened. And if we can, I mean, going forward after 25 years, I think what we can do is to say, like you said, if we can give 2-hour window to red carpet, 6 to 8, we are done. You get me? Everybody who comes after 8, you can't get to be filmed or can't get to display on the red carpet. We have to instill this. Otherwise, our events are going to be dragging, and it's really, really boring when it gets too dry. So, I mean, yes, we know we want to include the fashion industry. Good, it's a good thing. Let's say 6 p.m. we start with red carpet. People should come on red, because there are other events that happen with red carpet, but they're always on time. So let's make it a mandate that, listen, 6 o'clock we are on the red carpet, 8 o'clock we are done. We have an hour window for people to sit down. 9 o'clock the show begins. 12 we are done. I think it's about time we need to make use of time.
Yeah.
Because elsewhere it's not like that. If
Yeah.
you're supposed to close 11:30, it's 11:30. You get me? Because if you delay 1 minute, it affects everybody else in the chain.
Exactly.
The full chain.
Exactly.
So we really have to do this.
Yeah.
You get me? We really have to be hard on this end.
And
the delays and the dragging is really killing us.
Yeah. One thing today I observed on the red carpet is I love the demarcation from the main entrance of the conference center into like the front of the red room and everything. Now, the demarcation very well done. Now we all converge at the main entrance to get to the red carpet into the auditorium. And then you have the VIPs, the dignitaries, the artists, the media, everybody now going through one space. One thing I think we can take on board is, can we demarcate so that whoever is coming, an artist who has to be on the red carpet, to be able to be there? Because you realize that somebody was going through the red carpet, he's not going to even display or show anything. And then they just come and stand there, waste all the time, and then now the place gets very, very choked. And it was very, very choked at the entrance getting onto the red carpet. I don't know if you experienced it as the event organizer or even you as Adam.
So the thing is, it was the demarcations were there, and they even had it printed because they were projected. And I don't know if you saw that, but those were clear things that were there. It's just that at a particular point, the numbers came, and we had some artists who came through with the numbers, and they literally created a little bit of chaos when they came through. Okay. So that is it's at that point where that particular experience started from. But in terms of the demarcation where people were supposed to pass, those things were like fundamental. I mean, obviously, otherwise it becomes difficult for you to even know which route you should pass through. Yeah. So those are some of the occupational hazards you could say with respect to managing crowds and stuff like that. But essentially, the numbers that I showed, I think I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and then we were talking about all the numbers and the numbers. You know, we took out the red room from that particular slot to be able to create more room. Obviously, the reason why the space would feel that way, it's because it's small. It's small. The numbers have increased incredibly, like it's gone up. The number of people who wanted to be a part of this is crazy. So it's clear that there's huge demand for everything red carpet. That's what I'm saying, that we have to get into it and produce it like a whole show on its own, because we've seen what it means to people, we've seen what it means to the media houses, what they want to do, grab the sound bites and interviews and everything, and we want to be able to ensure that all of you are able to get the kind of experience that you want, keeping in mind the fact that everybody needs to have one. But I showed one of them a red carpet scenario of Grammys, and the guy was like, ah, really?
Yeah.
I'll show it to you when they're done, so you see what it means, like an aerial shot. So
Okay.
yeah, it's that. Except that what you usually have is a clearly demarcated area for production. So you realize that you are doing your interviews, and you have your space. It's not like you don't have space. You have the space to do your stuff.
Yes.
It's just that when you take your aerial view, you realize that there are quite a number of people there. Yes, and then we have our official demarcated slots for the interviews, and those areas were quite okay, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's the demarcated areas meant for production versus the other areas where people are there and doing their own stuff. Those are the things that need to be a bit clarified in terms of management. But I'm sure that, like I'm saying, once we take that as a project for subsequent years, you'd clearly see the difference.
All right. Now, Adam, let's enter the auditorium. I mean, we are now into the auditorium. All that we're talking about, we're outside the auditorium.
But
now going for the experience.
I have one thing to say about the
Okay.
red carpet. When going forward, I think they should start coming out with, like, I mean, giving an avenue for the public to vote for best dress. I mean, on the night.
All day the table talk.
It will be
all day the table talk.
because
Best
people,
dress. Charlie,
people
you're
really
cause
crave
problems,
for,
though.
people really
no,
crave for the red
it's
carpet.
nice. Yeah, that's
It's a whole show, red carpet.
Best dress, West
It
dress.
starts a conversation before that was.
It's about best, not worst.
No,
Worst dress,
best.
worst dress can be from a review of, like, look, a fashionista of some sort.
But
But
this
that's
one
them.
best.
But this is like best. You understand?
I mean,
so
it'll
some
be
people can
lovely.
win stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Now let's enter the auditorium. Which performance stood out for you on the night? I'll tell you mine. My performance was Mr. Drew and Stoneboy.
Okay.
Which performance stood out for you?
For me, I had Stoneboy, Mr. Drew, Ifia, Amachi the Day set, the honorary, and a hip life party.
The hip life party.
Yeah.
Okay, I have my own reservations about the whole hip life party. That's fine.
There are some issues with it, but it was beautiful addition to the whole thing because it brought that kind of nostalgic feeling to it. I mean, in terms of production, clearly when you watch, you can feel like some things were rushed.
Yeah.
Either the rehearsals, it didn't take them long to rehearse, or it was like impromptu or something. I mean, that was production-wise, you can sense that. But I think that the addition was very beautiful, and how it happened with Reggie coming into, I mean, like, overall, talk about hip life, and if you look at how the response came from the crowd, it told us that this is something the people wanted to see, and they saw it. That aside, I think Amachi the Days, if you look at the kind of artists who were made to sing to Anna Amachi the Day, they are not the kind of people who you think that, oh, they fall in line with Amachi the Day's voice. I mean, they were sweet, like, you see, sweet love artists who sing like, when you talk about this guy, Famille, Akwabwa, Kwabna,
Yes.
Episode. It's not the
Eno.
Eno. It's not the Amachi the Day kind of, I mean, voice. Amachi the Day kind of, I mean, singers.
So I say it took away from the experience.
No, it's brought something. Yeah, because it was like they were challenged to, I mean, sing a certain kind of way. And they brought their A game on. If you look at what Kobna did on the stage, I mean, that was an awards performance. I mean, he really dazzled everybody on the night. And I have been of praise to Episode. No matter the opportunity you give him, he takes it as, I mean, everything, like the World Cup. If you look at from his costume, he had Amachi the Day. I mean,
he likes doing that a lot.
Yeah, Amachi the Day, honoring the legend, Iron Boy. I mean, that was like a 50. Then the performance. I mean, how he was able to express himself through Amachi the Day song, ran his rendition through, bringing his own vibe, and I mean, how he was able to like go on with the crowd. That was very massive. With the call and respond, among other things, it was massive. Eno Baroni also came in on Akwabwa's set, which was a surprise. I mean, as soon as he entered, and the way she entered, you saw the crowd. They were always already cheering her up.
Yeah.
Then came Mr. Drew. I mean, Mr. Drew has, since 2021, when he had that shot as a new artist, given the opportunity to perform and arguably having the best performance on the night, that thing has been with him. I mean, anytime he comes, he gives us a show, and that wasn't an exception on the night. I mean, he showed us that he was ready for the show. Then came Efia. I mean, how she entered, it's like she took us away.
Yeah.
If
saw she descended and I was just like, oh my God.
If it were to be football and communicating with we are offside, what she go.
Yeah.
And that is how she came. Like, nobody was expecting, like, she comes. And the way she did the song, I mean, the rendition she did, it was really a jam. I mean, and to cap it off for me, Stoneboy.
Yeah.
I mean, he Stoneboy had so much aura around him on the night. When you watch him, like, it's like he exudes something. Like,
he was different.
He was a superstar. Like, that is how he looked. And when he got onto the stage with his performance, it has so many elements. I mean, telling the story of the voter.
Actually, we'll be going into that because the first will be here to talk more about it. So don't spill the beans here.
All right. So, I mean, Stoneboy did it for me on the night. He showed that, yes, he has his own class. And it was a calm, cool, collected, but focus on what he wanted to deliver. So big ups to all of these people on the night. They really gave the show that energy we all wanted.
All right. Now, I want to bring our cocktail from Eden Bar. They are the only non-alcoholic bar in Ghana right now.
Oh,
so
yeah, I know.
if Eden Bar can just give us something cool to, sip on whilst we have a good show. But I'll be sorry to you, George Britain. We'll send yours to you via which one do you like?
We go text some.
Or FedEx. Or we go send you for WhatsApp. Anyway, but, Robert, now, in the auditorium, realize that there were a few. I don't want us to talk about the whole technical challenges and everything because it was pretty obvious. Everybody has been talking about it. But I just want to understand how much input does you, as the organizers, make into the performance plans of the artists, the synergy points, because it is very important for us to know so that when people are criticizing, they will be able to understand that they were not caught by surprise. They knew it, but it's just that things didn't go as they were expecting it to go. How much input do you have in the artist performance?
Yeah, so basically what we do, we engage with every artist to understand what we are going to put up, and once we understand, we are able to provide the necessary
logistics
or conducive environment, so to say, to ensure that it happens. And some come and say, I have no idea
what I want to do.
Exactly. So then we have to, or they don't have a concept cooked. Then we're like, okay, then we will talk to our performance team to cook something for you. So we cook some stuff, and then we share with you, and then you have to align if you're okay with it, and then then we move on. Others come with stuff, but we also still review what they have, and then if there's anything to add, we add. If there's anything, because we have to get into feasibility. So when we get into feasibility, we discuss, and if it's not going to work and there are changes supposed to be made, you make it. Others also, again, come with ideas, and then we also do have ideas and we share with them so that in certain cases we are able to marry them. So for example, when you take the Stoneboy performance like that, it was a marry. There were components that came from us and there were components that came from them, albeit majority of the stuff came from them. So that kind of stuff. So that's how we work together.
All right.
If you take Kim Promise's performance, so to say, because we listened to what they wanted to do, we had to now make a special concession for them to create the water effect within the stage. That meant working on the design and redesigning and ensuring that it was incorporated into it, and then in such a way that it wouldn't be problematic for non-pool users, so to say. And then taking into consideration the issues of safety, how do you ensure that nobody falls into this if it is not really their act, and how do you ensure that you're able to pull this particular thing off during the award scheme without necessarily causing delays and then not being able to set a trap for somebody who might not be aware that that particular thing would exist. So it's you have to figure all of that out until you are able to finalize your project.
Did all this, now about the promise, did all this that he did it take away from the performance, or did it add to the performance? Because now a lot of people are saying, he was distracted.
All day he did, like,
so because where the water was placed, like where the water pool was, from where the band and his DJ was, all of these things, would you say that would be a contributing factor to why his performance was a bit like...
He rehearsed, well for his performance, and it was meant to be, it was a solid project that had been conceptualized, and we all helped to be able to ensure that it was going to come off.
So the rehearsal was much better than even the performance? That's what essentially you're saying?
No, the rehearsal was done, and it was a good rehearsal. And so at the end of the day, you are, once everything had been ticked, we are good to go.
All right. Now, George, you've sent an artist, or you've presented your artist to the VGMAs.
Sorry, before you get to George, I think that in all fairness, when we want to describe somebody's artistic project, sometimes we need to be a bit measured, because on a regular day, doctors review works of doctors.
Yes.
And then we have, so then, a peer review is always important, so that it's, spoken from a particular angle. But when people just say, oh, and then this was not good or whatever, question is what aspect? So that you can narrow it down, because there are several components of what the person or the team have put up, and you need to be able to clearly say, oh, X or Y or 10% because of this, because of that. I'm saying this because I'm in the art and it is my space, and I understand that sometimes we allow, just people talk, anywhere and stuff like that about works that are done. But I think that in all fairness, when people who are within the industry are talking, we need to get into some form of specifics and be clear, so that it's not every, because if we have an issue with maybe the sound at the beginning, or maybe some lights in some portions that had some dark patches and stuff like that, then we should limit it to that, because obviously within the act there was a dance, within the act there was props that were put in place. How well were they used? And clearly we can see there were the energy on stage, and like there are different aspects of a performance. So sometimes when we just say that, oh, this one, then it feels like entire, you know what I'm saying?
I get you, because I realized that people became extremely hard, especially on the opening act performance, and it was like, oh, they were trying, and people even went as far as, oh, they are trying to sabotage him and all of these things. I feel like sometimes you need to be very specific, and that's why I was saying that yes, the sound was a problem, but then again, was it because of where because you realized that his DJ was placed here, the opening
that has got nothing. That has got nothing. The placement of people on the stage has got nothing to do with sound.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, so was it because now he couldn't see?
That's what I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with it.
Sound.
So, for example, where the sound was playing, the same sound playing, and then other people were performing.
I think
so
it's
got
the same
nothing
as
to
the
do with
rehearsal.
you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Exactly.
Okay.
The structure, whatever had been done during the rehearsal is the same. So it's not necessarily that. So the sound issue which happened at the beginning, to a certain extent before it was corrected, is a sound issue. So that you don't too much, because I love my artists.
I get you.
They need we need to give them, if there's any feedback, it shouldn't be something bruising their ego. Me, I'm always for them, and we need to be able to speak in a way that's
All right, now George, you being a key stakeholder in this, what would be your take for us to look at the way forward? What are the things that we need to better, especially when we got into the auditorium? Because we realized that in the auditorium, a lot of people were like, oh, why is this? Why is that? Why? But then again, sometimes when you're also in the creative space and also part of production and everything, you can sometimes understand and cut it so be like, oh, okay, I can understand some of these things. So then, you really want to punch too much. But what can we do to, make this better so that the 26th edition will be way better than the 25th?
Well, with me, I think because of the experience I had this time around, I can only judge by what I saw on TV. And I think going forward, the awards should be captured in a way where the focus is more on people at home than people in the auditorium. Because I think people in there enjoy the show more than we're the ones that are watching at home. You get me? So it could be camera angles, it could be how some of these things were filmed. I've had time to watch some snaps and all that from King Promise's performance.
Make you leave the artist over here open.
Yeah, George, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, you've had time to watch some snaps of King Promise's performance.
Yeah. I mean, there were some performances I had to see, on snaps and all that. And sorry, calls are coming through.
It's fine.
I felt like it's got to do. It's got to do with the camera angles because it's got to do with the camera angles because what it is that there are millions of people who get to see this event.
Yeah.
Who are not in the auditorium. So if they can give us the type of views that we are used to internationally, we will enjoy it more. I think after the event, I have had time to watch some except on, VGMA's, Charterhouse's page, and it looks quite exciting. So we should find a way to, get some of these things plugged in. When I stay home and watch event like that, I want to see the glam. I want to see all the beautiful stuff happening, being performance and whatsoever it is. I think that's what was lacking for me on the night.
Yeah.
I can't say much about the technical hitch because I wasn't in there. And I think one thing I will give it up to, I will actually applaud Charterhouse for was the stage. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
The stage they gave us is world class. It was huge. It was big enough for every artist to, display and do anything that they wanted to do. I was surprised I didn't get to see a car or a motorbike on the stage. But that was how big it was. Yeah, that was how big it was. With regards to performances, I think my favorite was Stonebwoy. Stonebwoy came, saw, and conquered the night. It was just beautiful. And he had authority, on the stage. I saw Stonebwoy. I think Nasi did it for me. Nasi, what's his name? Mr. Drew. Mr. Drew had a fantastic, it's a showman, so he never gets it wrong.
Yeah.
A fierce entry, a fierce vocal ability. There are much, I think it was a fun night. I was speaking to people who were in the auditorium who really had fun. Of course, I mean, there's going to be one or two hitches out there, but it was exciting. It was a good show. I've been to some of these events for the past. I'm sure I've probably attended out of the 25, maybe I've attended about 15 of them, and I know the improvements. I saw this time around. So the hitches, we are still working. I mean. We're a third world country, we are still getting better with some of the things. But honestly, I was good. I was really good with the stage. I was really good with some of the performances, and I think most of our teams are now paying much attention to their costumes.
Sure.
You look at how Stonebwoy came in and how it went. You look at his dancers, the choreographers for other artists. For the first time, big up to what's his name, Famia. I really like how Famia dressed.
Yeah.
It was really a nice show.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
I think we need to dwell on the positive ones more. With the hitches, I would say I didn't really feel it much because I watch on TV.
Yeah.
My only problem with TV is that they just have to give us a very good quality, TV goes so that we can enjoy it more.
All right. Thank you very much, George. For having this time with us, and also thank you very much, Robert. Thank you, Adam. It's been a very, very good and a fun time. Yeah. Okay. We have to go.
I think.
We have to go. We have to go. If you want us to do this again, we can do this again.
I'd like to say happy belated birthday to Jemima Mensah, a friend of a colleague, and also happy anniversary, wedding anniversary to her and the husband, Godfrey. Is a presenter in the Western region.
All right.
So Godfrey and Jemima, happy anniversary to you. 10th wedding anniversary. It's no be easy.
All right, Robert, your final words before you go.
Well, I just want to say we are thankful, grateful, and appreciative of everything that's happened over the period. Sponsors, artists, media folks, industry personalities, everybody and anybody who's played a part. We say 25 years and they say, oh yeah, praises to Charterhouse, but actually praises to everybody who had a part to play in it, because we have not come this far by ourselves. We are because you are, and because you are, therefore we are, and that is the reason why we are able to achieve what the things we achieve. So yes, Thanks to everybody. And let's say
Cheers.
cheers to 25 years and then
25 years.
Hoping for 26th year.
Yeah.
We have the summit coming up on 21st of June, so that's going to happen. It's time to learn a thing or two.
Okay.
Yeah. About.
I think last year was very, very educative. I was
All right,
there.
we'll be there.
Let alone.
We'll be there. Myself, I'm going to be there. But hey, thank you very much for sticking and staying with me.